just welcome everyone back to the live stream and say something about the afternoon or something?
Alrighty.
Thanks, mate.
Welcome back to the afternoon session. Up today we have the points races for the under 15 women and men, and also the Masters team pursuits, finishing off with some Masters points races.
I don't know what that is. I'll put it down. So when I've got the radio mic, if it's feeding back, just drop this one.
Yep.
I don't know what was going on with it.
Yeah, I don't know, because we kept dropping it and then it sounded like you couldn't hear it.
Yeah.
So.
Try keeping that one low
Yep.
and then raising this infield mix.
Yeah, okay.
That might not feed back. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
It's weird.
Yeah, we'll just have to have a play around with it and
Yeah.
see if it does it.
But it's between that one, and these two.
Yeah, okay.
This is the front of house, which is around here.
Yep.
And then the infield mix is the speakers that goes into the infield.
Yep.
So, anyway,
Yeah, excellent.
see what happens.
Up now we have the junior women under 15 points race. Is this speaking out?
General announcer. Afternoon. Yep,
Alrighty.
try that.
Alright, so this is the junior women under 15 points race. Looks like there's a few riders that might be finding the pace a little bit too hot. But the bunch looks to be content to roll turns and keep the pace high. Still not?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Just
Chloe Buckley coming to the front now. She looks to be doing a healthy turn on the front. Some riders not content to pull turns. You can just see some little gaps opening up in the field there. The pace is quite high for these under 15 women. Ava Carmen leads them through now. 24 laps left to go. Because we are coming up to a sprint lap, you can see a few of the riders wanting to position themselves appropriately. Again, Chloe Buckley leading them through, pulling up with Ava Karma following. You can see Sienna Monteith sitting in the pack there. She's not wanting to do too much work early. Oh, and the pace has dropped right out of this group now. 2 laps till the sprint. You can see they've all bunched up. That pace has really gone out of the field. Surely an attack will go. Rolling through. Sienna's going to ride high. She's going to come flying around the outside, coming into the sprint lap. Let's see who can follow her. Ava Carmen looks keen to follow the move. Chloe Buckley's on her wheel. Sienna's leading them through. She's got a few bike lengths gap there. and she's maintaining that gap. Looks like she's going to collect these points. Look at that. Sienna collecting the points that lap. She's keeping the pace high. Straight back down. She wants to work this gap now that they've pulled on the main group. Chloe Buckley will close the gap. Ava Carmen will follow. Chloe's just going to let Sienna in there. She doesn't want to do a turn now. The group settled down after that bit of pace there after the sprint. 18 laps left to travel. We can see there Sienna collected the 5 points. Isabel was the 3. Ava Carmen for 2. And Chloe Buckley with a 1. In the points race, the riders will want to keep watching the board to make sure that riders with other points don't overtake them. Sienna again on the attack. Ava's straight on the wheel though, with Chloe Buckley following. Ava just slowing the pace up of the bunch there. She wants to keep the sprints nice and fast. Again, an increase of pace, this time from Chloe Buckley. Ava just falling off the wheel slightly there. We can tell Isabel Potts there. She doesn't want to do any work for anyone else. She just wants to collect the points on sprint lap. Some communication amongst the group. Maybe someone wants to go on the attack. They're not content with this pace. They want it a little bit faster. April's just swinging up the track now. No one wants to really roll through. Again, Sienna finds herself on the front with Chloe in the wheel and Ava following. You can see just a few riders have found this pace a bit too hot after 4 days of competition. Chloe's really pulling out this pace. She knows that the other riders don't like this high pace. Ava on the front with Sienna in her wheel. Looking over their shoulder. Sprint lap, next lap. Grace Hunter also doing a great job sitting in there on the field. Let's hope she can snag some points. Chloe with a big attack, wanting to pull a gap on this one. She wants the 5 points. Just putting a bike length into Ava there. Sienna's right on the wheel though. Isabel Potts is closing the gap. Will she be able to snag some minor points in this one? It looks like Chloe's going to hang on, but Ava's coming pretty quick. It's Chloe that takes the points. Everyone swings up, but it's Isabel Potts that keeps the pace rolling. She wants it fast. She swings up. It's Ava on the front. She's going to slow this bunch down. She doesn't want it too fast. Sienna now on 7 points with Chloe following her on 6. This is a tight bunch. Ava on 5 and Isabel on 4. April not wanting to do much work. She's just content following the UQ rider there. Ava again on the front with only 6 riders there. They come around pretty quickly. Bit of increase of pace there from Chloe. She's come a long way to beat these state championships. She wants to go home with a gold medal. Ava slowing the pace down. No one wants to do a lot of work now. The early pace has really hurt their legs. April again slowing at the pace. Don't want to do much work. Grace Hunter is on the front now. She's going to keep it pretty nice and slow too. Isabel Potts on the front now with 5 laps left to travel. Chloe Buckley with another attack. Ava was going to get on the wheel straight away. Up the track she goes. Ava on the front with Sienna just marking her there. Chloe will need to win this sprint as well to come away with the gold medal. The pace has dropped right out. They're just laying off a little bit, watching for an attack, constantly looking over the shoulder. 3 laps left to travel. Ava's going to pull them through with Sienna and Chloe on the wheel. Can there be an upset here? Grace wants to get on the action. She's sitting on Ava's wheel now. Chloe on the front with Sienna, just sitting above her, just watching her. 2 to go. We're at the pointy end now. Chloe's got to maintain control of this race. She lets April back to the front. There's an attack from Sienna. Chloe's going to have to follow the wheel here. Ava on the wheel. They're 2 abreast. They're really flying home. Sienna's holding them off. Chloe wants to come on the outside, but Ava's coming too. They round up the back markers. Chloe's pulling it ahead. Ava's coming home fast, but it's going to be Chloe. Chloe Buckley. What a great race there for the junior women. Chloe Buckley all the way from Cairns brings home the gold. And there it is, Chloe Buckley, Sienna Monteith, Ava Carmen. That's your top 3. Lining up now is the under-15 men for their point score. Let's see if it's as exciting as the women's. The men roll around 50 laps to travel. This is a good sized field here. Quite a few from Bundaberg, Rockhampton and Hervey Bay regions, as well as this local metro guys. And look at that, there's an attack straight from the start. Number 42, Felix Crossman, he wants to get the pace going early. He doesn't want to race around for anyone. And it looks like 44, William Emulus, he wants to get on the attack, and Oscar Scoff is straight on the wheel. These boys, they're not mucking around, they want the pace high. It's Hunter Davis who drags the peloton through. He wants to bring the field back together. Oscar just easing the pace a little. He wants to maintain and control of this race. It's William now, he'll slow down the pace again. Felix on the front. Willie making another attack. She's a tightly packed field, this one. No one wants to get away now after that early attack. They're all keeping an eye on each other. There's the Bundy boys, the Davis boys, Reese Davis, Hunter Davis. They're just going to let Reese roll off the front here. Will he take advantage of this? Oscar wants to stay in control. He's going to roll to the front now with a little bit of pace. Williams straight on the wheel. Not wanting to let him go. We see George Tucker in the field there. He's had some good pace early on. Sprint lap, next lap. They're all just hanging in there, not wanting to commit to any turns. And there's going to be an attack down the back straight. That looks like number 49, Harry. He's going to pull a couple of bike links here. Oscar's going to fight down for the wheel, and so is Will. The sprint lap, he's got a good, healthy lead. Can he maintain? The peloton's just struggling to find the wheel there. Oscar's going to roll around the outside, down the back straight. Will's on his wheel, though. Who's going to get the 5 points? Looks to be he's going to let Oscar get the 5. He's going to collect the 3, save it for a rainy day. Harry snagged the 2 points there. Looks like somebody wants to keep the pace rolling. They don't want it to slow down too much. They like it hard. Oscar's will wake up to that, though. He's going to get straight on the wheel. He wants to stay in control. And it's all slowed up again. Look at that. Not wanting to spend too much. They just want to sprint. Up the track he goes. Oscar's going to keep the pace steady. He knows who he's got to watch out for. Looking over his shoulder, he swings up. It's Josh Franks that pulls up now. Oscar's back on the front. He's done a lot of turns early. Let's see how he fares in the later parts of this race. Again, it's the familiar duo, Oscar and William. They're on the front. They're taking control of this race. There's a few riders in there that are just hanging in there. They look like they're going to save the legs for a few of the later sprints. It's Will on the front again. 15 laps left to go. A few of those Balmoral riders are just sticking together in there. Maybe there's going to attack forming. Some strategy, some planning happening. The pace has really dropped out of this one. It's Harry that swings up the track now. Oscar on the front again. He doesn't want to commit to any pace, but he just wants to stay at the front. Keep an eye on everyone. Maintaining control of this one. When an attack goes, look at this. Oscar's going to have to react. It's Josh that makes the attack. Will's straight on the wheel as well. Not wanting to let Oscar get away and steal some points. Up the track Oscar goes. Will's going to follow through. Are they going to put some pressure on the field now? A bit of pace has been injected. You can see Bodie and Hunter are also following the wheel through. They're going to try and snag some points. Eli's trying to close the gap as well. Maybe he's going to go on the attack with George on his wheel. Oscar on the front again, but here comes Eli. He's going to stretch the pace in. It's sprint lap. Let's see what he can do. Oscar's going to try and put him on the hip. And Bodie's on the wheel too. He's going to snag some big points this time round. Oscar seems to be very in control of this race. He collects the 5 points. But Eli wants to keep the pace rolling. Oscar's going to have to get on the wheel. Will's straight on there as well. But Bodie, he's going to fight for the wheel. George has just found the pace a bit too hot in this one. He's going to go back. Oscar staying in control. He's going to sit up the pace a little bit though. Is Will going to continue though, or he wants to keep the pace high? Oh, up the track he goes. He doesn't want to work. Maybe a few words said there. Keep the pace high. Let's drop these fellas, eh? 8 laps left to go. Again, Eli's on attack. This is the 3rd time he's tried this. He can't slip away from Oscar, though. And Will, of course, he's dressed in black. He's Oscar's shadow. Will's going to have to snag the points in this one if he wants any chance of catching Oscar. Look at that, Oscar just sitting on the wheel. He's keeping an eye on everyone. Doesn't want anyone to get up the front without him saying so. Oh, Oscar on the attack this time. A little bit out of the seat acceleration. Maybe just wants to test the legs, see how they're feeling for the upcoming sprint. Aero tuck, they're just going to catch up to a little Reese Davis. He's found the pace a bit too hot this time round. George has made back contact too, as well as Harry. Will up the track. Eli on the front again with a little bit of turn of pace. Oh, they're going to turn the screws. A few gaps opening up again. Oscar slowing it down though. And here goes the shadow. He's going to follow him through. He doesn't want to do too much work though. I dare say the gold medal might be decided, though. There's not much Will can do from here. And Eli goes on the attack. Look at him go. He wants to snag some points before the day's done. It's going to be Will on the wheel this time with Oscar following. Up the track they go. Not too much work left in the field. It's Josh who rolls them through. Oscar just sitting on the wheel with his little shadow. Out of the seat Oscar is. He's just stretching the legs a little, just seeing how everyone else is feeling. Will on the wheel again. Where else would he be? Got Eli and Josh wanting to follow the group through. George is yet to snag some points in this one. Could it be a last ditch in the last sprint here? They're 3-4 wide up the track. They're getting ready for the sprint. Here we go. It's going to be Eli. He's going to go on the attack. George is on the wheel this time, though. He wants to snag some points. Oscar's going to have to try and ride him from underneath. Eli's going to follow him through as well. Here's George, though, and Will. Let's see if they can snag some points. It's going to be tight on the line. The outside's going to get it. Look at that. Will take some points. That's all right, mate. Just waiting for the final results on that board to come up to confirm our winners. It was a great ride, though, by Oscar Scoff. He maintained control the whole time. It's great to see. And look at that. William takes the 5, Oscar with the 3, Josh 2, and George snagged the 1. And there's our results. Oscar's our gold medal, William to the silver, and Bodie for bronze. On the track now, we've got the Masters Women Team Pursuit. Good mix of riders here from Rockhampton, Cairns and UQ. In the gate, we've got Julie Barnett. And just on her right, we have Mel Simon, followed by Renee Buchanan and Petra Anderson. Looks to be 3 sprinters and 1 enduro in this field. Oh, and they get away very well. It's going to be Julie who'll lead them off. She wants to get them up to pace. Everyone's just going to fall in behind her. They've got plenty of time. 11 laps left to go. They're setting a good pace, 24 seconds for the first lap. That's not too shabby. Julie just pulling a little bit of a gap there. She's putting in a big effort. Pull them through. Her job's done for today. It's up to the rest to carry them through. Mel must be feeling the pace a little bit though. She had a couple of bike links to Julie there. Another good split there, minute 01. 8 laps left to travel. They're holding really good form here. Just nice and smooth, the three of them. They're a good pit. Mel takes her turn. It's going to be Renee who leads them through now. Petra is on the wheel as well. It's been an update on the board. There's 3 laps left to travel. Petra who leads them through now. Renee's got to hold the wheel. 3 of them have got to finish to ratify the time. They might just have to ease up here. Renee's losing the wheel a little. 2 laps left to travel. Renee looks like she's really hit the wheel. Petra's going to tell her to slow down a little bit. We need to catch back on. Last lap. It's going to be Renee who stops the clock though. She's got to be the last rider. This has been a lonely last couple of laps for Renee at the back. I think a few of the riders here might have forgot the team part of the pursuit. A good ride nonetheless. It's going to be Renee who stops the clock though. At a 2 minutes 53, a good time. On track now, we've got the University of Queensland Cycling Club for the Masters Men Team Pursuit. Some very pro-looking setups in there. Let's see if they can pull out a good time. It's going to be Thang who leads them out with Johnny Hickson up the rear. John's a very classy rider, very strong rider. Nicely out of the gate. They're going to get away well here. Into formation early, it seems. They're going to settle down, coming in. 1 lap completed. They're going to be nice and formed. Look at this. This is like watching professionals at work. They've practiced this a million times over. Things setting a cracking pace here. This is going to be a good one to watch. Still on the front. Their sideline there, Ron Hickson. He called out even. They're on schedule. Things done his job. He's pulled off. He's done for the day. 5 laps left to travel. They hold a nice tight form here. It's Mark who leads them through now with John on the wheel. Ooh, a little bit of movement at the back there. Just not quite comfortable sitting in the bars maybe. John's dishing out the orders there. Up, up, up was the words. He's stretching in the pace a little bit though. He's put a bike length into him. He's looked back, 2 laps left to travel. He's got to keep them all together. Ooh. John Hicks again increasing the pace. He's not happy with this. He wants it to be faster. He knows they can ride a better time. Good communication in the group there. They've practiced this, that's for sure. And they clock the stop the clock at 2 minutes 26, a good time. On track now is Kangaroo Point Cycling Club. Good start again there. A little bit shaky through the field though. It's Wayne Clark who leads them away with Tim Matthews on the wheel. Keith's going to have to get on there. They set good pace there, second fastest. It's Tim Matthews who leads them through now. This group sticking together, not like the other two previous, where the first rider's done 500, 750 metres on the front and pulled off. Let the 3 carry it out. 6 laps the travel. Two minutes 26 is the time to beat. Let's see if they can pull this one off. Keith Ham leads him through. He swings up and he's done for the day. He's going to go down, sip a nice cold beer. Nice tight formation from this group. They're sitting a nice steady pace too. 3 laps left to travel. They're still second fastest. They're going to have to pick it up if they want to catch UQ. Tim Matthew leads them through. We're just looking over the shoulder, making sure everyone's still on the wheel. They don't want any mishaps in this one, that's for sure. 2 laps left to go. On the wheel was the shout. He wants them to stick together. He wants to increase the pace a little. He knows that they've got to pull it back. And there's the UQ time there, just slipping away with 1 lap left to go. They're going to guide them through. This is going to be a respectable time nonetheless. They held good form there. What a good ride. 2 minutes 51. This looks to be a mixed group jumping on the track now. We've got Raymond Smith, as mentioned previously, Rocky Cup on Wheels winner. Greg Hutton, it's his birthday today. Wishing him happy birthday. A gold medal would be an icing on the cake, I'm sure. Josh Rayner in the gate. We know he's got a strong sprint. We'll see what his role is today. Ian Snodgrass there as second wheel. No doubt the Wombat, as he's affectionately known, Josh Rayner. He'll set a good pace for the first couple of laps. Josh Rayner, he's not wanting to push the pace too much out of the gates. He wants to keep everyone together. Nice and steady, looking over the shoulder, making sure everyone's on the wheel. They're going to stick together this time. This should be a good time. Well, he's increased the pace now. They're second fastest through the first split. It's Ian Snodgrass who leads them through on that nice aero setup. Double disc wheels, aero helmet, TT bars. "13 laps left to go this time around. They're still second fastest. They're setting good pace. Greg Hutton up the track now. It's Raymond Smith who's on the front. Getting nice and narrow there. Putting a little bit of distance though into them. A little bit of increase in pace there. Up the track he goes. It's Rayner who finds himself on the front. He's going to pull him through now. Still second fastest. Rayner up the track, just nice one-lap turns, keeping it simple. Ian up the track, letting Greg do the work. Greg Hutton and Rayner come down from Cairns. They want to come home with some silverware as well. Eight laps left to go. It's Raymond on the front now. Lift is the words from the coach. And they have done just that. There's a few little gaps opening up there. These guys riding really well together here today. They slip into first fastest. No words from the coach this time around. He's happy with the pace. Greggy's on the front again. Lift is the words. Let's hope Greggy can do a Brandon Hutton special in a second here and pull a big turn. Raymond's on the front. He wants the pace high too. He wants to pull him through. Faster are the words. And Wombat has responded. He's pulling a little bit of a gap. He's going to make these boys hurt before their points race this afternoon, that's for sure. All on, communication down the back straight. 2 laps left to go. They're going to have to crank the pace this time. Ian's on the front. He's pulling a gap. Greggy's not responding. He's feeling buggered. There seems to be an attack from a team pursuit. It's the Rocky Cup winner who's going to have to bring Rayner back. It's almost like they're sprinting for team sprint glory here. And it's Ian who's going to pull him through. Oh, lunge to the line from Ray Smith there. 5 minutes 19 the time. On track, we've got the UQ guys here for the Masters Men Open Team Pursuit. Some fast-looking rigs out there. I was watching them in the warm-up. They looked like they're pretty set up and they're pretty practiced at this one. It's going to be Craig O'Connell who leads them away, with Peter Nowell on the wheel. Followed by Chris Weir and Scotty Duncan. Setting good pace early. 24.9 first lap. There's a long way left to go yet, though. A cracking pace for the 500, 42. Nice form there. He pulls off after 500 metres. He's straight on the back, though. He's going to help the team out throughout the race. One lap terms being pulled through now. $1.18 at the first kilo. Scotty Duncan who leads them through. Setting a nice pace there. He looks very comfortable on the bike. Up the track and straight back down. Very experienced at this. Craig leading them through now. He's the one who started them off. One lap turn for him. Hands it over to Chris Weir. They're holding great formation in this one. Nice and smooth down the back straight. Turns look effortless on this. No doubt they're on the rivet and they're going to be feeling this later on when they line up for their points race. Scotty Duncan leads them through. Nice pace being set here. It's Peter Nowell who leads them through now. You can see they're just riding the black line. Nice and smooth, shortest way around the track. This is a well-practiced team, that's for sure. They're really on the rivet with 2 laps left to go. There's been a big increase these past couple of laps. There's no mucking around now, that's for sure, with 1 lap left to travel when they come round. It's all or nothing. It's Peter who leads them through. Craig's going to sit up. His job's done. The time's taken off the back of the third rider. .448's the time. A respectable time there by the boys. Now will be presentations for events 216 through 220. Turn it down.
Is there a microphone here? No, there's no microphone. It was down there. The last time someone used it down there.
Oh, he's got it now. He's found.
Oh,
Oh, I pulled it out just then.
okay. So this might still have enough charge in it to do this. Because this one's
You'll need an assistant manager.
longer. 4 more races.
4 more long races.
4 more long.
Did you get rid of most of the kit?
Got
Really?
rid of quite a bit because it's on its way to Cairns, which is great because they're the people who don't get as much access to new stuff.
Right.
So it all runs through here.
Well-
So I boxed it in the cupboard where the bikes were, which is
Well, I brought pretty much all of my Brisbane Cycling Club kit,
Yes.
and it looked like most of it's gone. Like the skin suit, I don't even think I wore the skin suit,
yes.
so it's gone.
Well, this is the other thing. There'll be stuff that went on and come off.
Yeah, so that's
which is
great. I'm glad that all my
Test.
Scott? No. Can you put it down here and come up? Yeah. Can you just
Rolling off now, we have the Masters Women's Points race. .40 laps the distance. Sprint every 10. Julie Barnett rolling up the track, CJ following her with Martin Wallace on the wheel. Pace is really steady for the first lap here. They know it's a long way. They don't want to be in the hurt box by the end. Got Sharon on the wheel as well, followed by Petra. Allison not wanting to contribute to the work, neither is Peter. Julie's back on the front now. CJ just leaving a little gap there, not wanting to get boxed in this early stages of the race. Looking over the shoulder. Up the track she goes. Julie's up the track now. Martin Wallace on the front. And it's Julie that sits high on the track. Maybe there's going to be an attack here. Petra comes to the front now. A very steady pace for the first 5 laps here for their final race of the week. You can see all up the track. No one wants to do a turn. Be great to see an attack come soon. Really ignite this race up. Petra's winding it up from the top. Maybe she's going to drop down. No, she just wants to move towards the front. It's Julie who controls the front. Sharon's on the wheel. She knows that Julie's a strong sprinter. But Petra's still high. We've got Allison just holding the wheel of Sharon here. Sharon up the track. They're all following. CJ's very experienced with this. She just wants to follow the wheel. It's Martin Wallace now who rolls through down the bottom. She wouldn't mind the pace staying a rolling pace. It's Petra again who goes high. Sharon's on the wheel this time. Maybe she's sensed a bit of danger here. A very steady first 7 laps here. Martin Wallace still in the front. Petra high as well. Sharon on the wheel. She knows that Petra's got a good sprint as well. She wants to follow the wheel through when the time comes. Sharon moving through to the front now. It's sprint like next lap. They're going to get themselves organised. There's a bit of increase in pace here. CJ's a little touch of the shoulder there. Martin Wallace on the front. Sharon's just sitting there. Ooh, a bit of increase here. Coming to the sprint lap. Who's going to snag the first 5 points of the night? It's Martin Wallace. He's going to have to chase the wheel down. It's Petra who's coming from a long way out, though. Will be able to close the gap to Sharon. Sharon's got a healthy lead there. But it's Peter who's going to close the gap. And Petra on the wheel as well. Sharon takes the 5. They all swing up. Martin Wallace wants to keep the pace rolling. CJ just sitting on the back there. She's going to save herself for a few of the later sprints. Petra and Peter just sitting there on Julie's wheel. They're happy to let Martin Wallace do the pacemaking. Up the track she goes. She's going to try and slot in behind Sharon. No, she wants to go right to the back. Let Julie take on the front now. Up the track she goes. Petra's going to follow her, and so is Peter. It's going to be Sharon who's going to be left on the front. CJ on the wheel. Maybe the club mates here are going to work together to snag some points. Again, the pace has dropped right out of this one. Petra looks poised for an attack. Surely there'll be one coming soon. 27 laps left to travel. They've been saving a lot of energy. Well, I hope they're going to spend it. Sharon wants to keep Petra high. She knows that she's a dangerous rider. She knows she's fast. And she's going to be a potential point taker later on in this evening. CJ looks over the shoulder. Oh, Petra wants to push the pace a little. It's the rider from the Vikings who sits on the wheel now. Alison Howell, she's going to hold the wheel with CJ following up. But it's Sharon who's on the front yet again. 5 laps. Julie just rides underneath. She wants to keep the pace rolling. Some nice steady laps set there by Julie. Petra wants to keep Sharon down. I have a feeling these two have met each other quite a few times through the races this week. Alison not wanting to let go of Sharon's wheel either. She could be a danger later on. With Martin Wallace on the wheel as well. It's Petra who's on the front now. 23 laps left to go. It's the two Vikings riders fighting out for Sharon's wheel. CJ's going to take height here. Looks like there could be potential for a run. She's out of the seat. Here she goes. She's lighting it up. She's going to wind it down. It's going to have to be Petra that responds. CJ's taking this one from a long way out. Petra's on the wheel. There's a gap to Sharon. She's going to have to close the gap if she wants to stay ahead in the points. CJ's just going to let Petra sit on the wheel. She's not going to go full gas just yet. Coming to the sprint lap, she's going to go up. She's going to let Petra take the front. Back down she goes. She just wants to snag a couple of points. And there's a move later on coming on from Julie. She's going to have to go 3 wide though. Sharon's coming with a lot of pace. She's going to have to wind up Petra to stay in the points. And it's Julie, the strong sprinter, who's going to ride over the top. But Petra takes the 5. And Alison sneaking in for the 3. Again, they all swing up. They just want to keep the pace for a few laps out from the sprint. Spending as little energy as possible. They just all roll up the track. They're just all looking at each other. A little bit of cat and mouse going on. It's Martin Wallace who's going to roll through now, though. She wants to keep the pace high. She knows she's strong. Petra's going to follow. There's not much interest. Could this be a chance for a little break to form? It's Alison who's on the wheel. Sharon and CJ are feeling the pain from the early sprints. Just a look over the shoulder from Martin Wallace, making sure that she's still got everyone on the wheel. Up she goes, Petra. She wants to follow. She doesn't want to do a turn. It's Julie who has to be drawn onto the front now. And Peter's just on the wheel. Sharon's back in contact now. CJ will be soon if this pace remains. We're more than halfway through the race now. 16 laps left to travel. It's been a steady pace so far. We've had a few early interests. Petra looks like she wants to go on the attack. CJ back in contact now. Martin Wallace in front of her. Bit of increase in pace there. Julie's going to have to find the wheel again. She doesn't want to be left in no man's land. CJ just finding the pace a little bit too hot this time round. There's a little gap forming there. Again, up the track they go. No one wanting to pull a turn. "14 laps to travel. Up the track. Oh, looking over the shoulder they are. It's Alison that's on the front with Sharon on the wheel. Again, Petra high on the track, increasing the pace. It must be tempting for her. She wants to sneak off the front, surely. Riding high still, a lap later. It's sprint lap, next lap. They're getting in formation. Petra wants the front. She wants to snag some good points. It's a tightly contested field here. The top three separated by a point only. It's going to be Petra who leads them out. But it's Peter who's going to come on the wheel of her fellow team. Sharon's sucking the wheel too. She wants to get into a few points. But Petra's pace, she's winding it up. It's going to be Alison who's going to fall on the wheel. They've pulled a gap to the two. It's going to be Petra who collects the 5. Will they keep the pace up and keep their moves rolling? Up the track they go. No one wanting to do turns. Martin Wallace, she wants to keep the pace high. On the wheel they drop. They're happy for someone else to do the work. CJ's sitting just off the back. Hopefully she can close that up before the end of the race. Martin Wallace again on the front with Petra on the wheel and Alison following. Petra up the track, not doing a turn. Alison not interested either. Julie's not either. They're all just going to roll up the track. The pace has been pretty easy in this one. It's just the sprints that are taking it out of the girls' legs. 7 laps left to travel. Petra high on the track, enticing someone to roll through, but they're just going to sit on a wheel. They're happy for her to sit out there. It's Petra and Alison on the front. They've got a bike link to Julie. Maybe she's just finding the pace a little bit too hot. It was Sharon who attacked in the first sprint. Maybe she's holding it in for the last one as well. She's on Julie's wheel. She's primed for a sprint. Petra up the track. No one wanting to do a turn. They know she's the leading point scorer, so why pull through? CJ just fighting to get back on the wheel. The grit in her. Petra again leading them through. 3 laps left to travel. The pace has increased, that's for sure. She likes a fast sprint. Alison's going to roll through this time, but it's a move from Sharon coming from the back. She wants to get on Petra's wheel. She knows she's a strong sprinter. It's Martin Wallace, who hasn't scored any points yet. Surely she can get up here. It's a move from Sharon now. With 1.5 to go, she's going to challenge Petra for the front. She's going to sit her on the hip, though. Ooh, 1 lap left to go. It's the sprint lap. Sharon's making a move. It's the 2 Vikings teammates who are fighting it out for the minor positions at this stage. Petra's ridden from out from underneath, but it's Alison who's boxed in now. And Peter's coming the highway. Is she going to snag the 5 points? It looks to be Petra who's clear, though. And Peter, will she snag the 3? And she does. A good ride there by the women. A dominating ride for Petra. It's the Masters men's 6, 7, 8 and 9 points race who are lining up at the fence just as we wait for the final results from the sprint. And it's Petra who took the 5, Peter who 3, Alison for 2 and Sharon for the 1. And away they go. 40 laps to travel. It's Ian who leads them through with Wayne Godfrey on the wheel. Wayne will be feeling fresh today. He hasn't done any races. A lot of the lads in here have done the team pursuit earlier on. They're just setting a good tempo at the moment, not pushing the pace too high, that's for sure. It's Don Hauser who sits in second wheel with Arch Davis on the wheel. Now remember, there's 4 different age groups in this race, so lots of medals to be decided. It's the Don from Cairns who swings up the track with Arch Davis pulling through now. They're quite content to just sit at this nice, happy tempo. An increase of pace here from Ian. He wants to stretch the field out before the first sprint. It's going to be the rider in black who closes the gap with Wayne Godfrey on the wheel. Up the track they go. They don't want to contribute to this fast pace. They want it nice and tempo. Bunched up they are. Coming into a lap before the sprint. A big increase of pace here. They're going to stretch the field out before the sprint. It's Anthony Mills who winds them into the sprint with Richard Watson on the wheel and Graham Ward following. But it's Wayne Godfrey who makes the move down the back straight. He wants to snag some early points. He's going to storm home, but it's going to be Arch who cleans up the final point. Up the track they go. They don't want the pace high, but Ian, he rolls through. He wants the pace to keep rolling. Wayne's going to take the opportunity to get ahead and follow the wheel. If these two boys can work together out the front, maybe they can pull a gap on their compatriots. Wayne will roll through now. And it's Mills who takes the front once again. He led out the sprint with Snodgrass on the wheel. Davis following. Up the track he goes. Arch, he keeps the pace steady. He does want an increase. A few riders here finding the pace too hot for the end of the night. Maybe that team pursuit really hurt them earlier on. It's Godfrey who follows Anthony Tilley up the track. Davis on the front again. It seems to be the usual group of people rolling through. They're happy to just keep the pace quite steady for now. It's Richard Watson who leads them through. Up goes Till and Godfrey on the front now. Snodgrass will follow. Not much action happening this time. They're a couple laps out from the sprint. Nobody seems too excited to get on the beans. Godfrey still on the front. Increase the pace from Wayne. Anthony Mills rolls over with Arch on the wheel. Adrian Tillon's going to follow. They're just putting a gap into the others now. Coming into the sprint lap. It's Mills who leads them through with Davis on the wheel. They're going to wind up these back markers just into the sprint. Nobody wants to make too much of a move. They're just happy to collect the points. Davis will roll through. Ooh, and he just snags it there. He gets the 5 on the line. Again, up the track. Snodgrass will go through. He wants the pace a little bit high. He wants to stretch out this field. He's pulled a good gap here. Will he maintain it? No one seems keen to chase at this stage. He's going to roll through now. He looks pretty comfortable on the bike. There's no urgency in the peloton at this stage. It's Davis on the front now. He's just going to let him slip away. He doesn't want to do too much work. It's Adrian Tillin who finds him on the front now, with Tim Matthews on the wheel. Graham Ward follows. The gap's starting to grow, you know. 17 laps left to travel. It's Anthony back on the front. He wants to close this gap down. But Snodgrass, he's maintaining a good gap here. There's been an increase in the pack though. Mills is really starting to drive the pace. He doesn't want Snodgrass to collect the points. Mills, a big turn on the front. He wants to bring him back. Snodgrass still looks very comfortable out there. Looking over the shoulder, maybe he's waiting for them to come back. Twelve laps to travel. It's sprint lap next lap. There's a sense of urgency in the peloton now. They want to snag the points. If Snodgrass can't hang on here, all that work was for nothing. He needs to get the points to make it worth his while. Up the track he goes. He spent 10 laps out there. It's Mills who leads him through. He's been chasing Snodgrass down. Is he feeling a bit tender in the legs now? Davis is on the wheel. There's a move from Ward though. Coming down the back straight. He's going to fly around Adrian Tilley. Comes through to the front. He's going to collect the points. Davis will take the minors. Up the track they go. They don't want to keep the pace rolling too high. 9 laps left to travel when they come round. A few riders really starting to feel the pinch now. It's Godfrey who hasn't collected any points yet. This could be his chance with the pace easing up. And the final sprint of the night. It's Tilley who's on the front. He pulls up. Mills follows through. Not wanting to do any turn. And it's Godfrey who finds himself on the front with Ward following. Up the track he goes. He's not going to do any work. Up the track they go. It's Mills who follows through. A little bit of increase in pace there. Davis up the track. Bit of communication happening in the peloton. It's Tilley who's on the front now. He's pulling a decent turn. Godfrey's having none of that. He's straight on the wheel. Snodgrass is leading through. He's not feeling too bad after his lap effort out the front. 5 to go when they come around this time. It's right to the pointy end now. The top 3 separated by 2 points only. This sprint is really going to matter. It's Wayne and John who haven't collected any points yet. This could be their chance. Godfrey finds himself on the front with Tilly on the wheel. Increase in pace. He likes a fast sprint. Tilly not wanting to work. Snodgrass on the front again. 3 laps left to go. Increase in pace. They're all bunched up at the front though. All looking at each other. Over the shoulder. It's Mills who's on the front again. 2 laps to go. He's going a long way out for this sprint. Davis is going to have to react. It's Watson who's left the gap. Wardy's going to have to go around a long way. They're coming into the bell. It's Mills who was in the front, but Davis, he wants the points too, you know. Ward's going to have to do a lot of work from a long way out. He's closing the gap quickly though. Coming into the final 2 bends. It's Mills. Is he going to hang on? Davis is coming quickly. It's going to be Davis on the line. And Godfrey snagging out the minors. Confirmation there. There are your point scorers for tonight. Davis, Mills, Ward, Watson, Tilly and Godfrey. You're right. Lining up now, we have the Masters men 4 and 5 points race. 60 laps the journey for these fellas. It's Raymond Smith who's on the front. Just going to increase the pace slightly, keep the pace nice and high, burn off a few of the stragglers. In this early stages of the race, no one's going to commit to too much pacemaking. The rider from Balmoral now who leads them through. Josh Rayner sitting on the front now. We know he's got a powerful sprint, but 5 laps out is a long way with 55 left to go. Up the track they swing. No one wants to commit to too much work. Bit of communication happening there in the peloton. An attack may be forming. It's Raymond Smith who rolls them through. Anthony Johnson on the front now. Up the track he swings. So a few riders sitting midfield here, just quite content for the pace to be made at the front. Coming into the sprint, everyone's looking over the shoulder. It's Rayner on the front again with Smith on the wheel. Dorabin following. It's Craig O'Connell who goes on the attack. He's pulled a good healthy margin here coming into the sprint lap. It's Cameron Douglas Savage who follows the wheel. But there's a good pace being made down the back here. They've just stretched him out a little bit. It's Rayner who's going to collect it at the minor points here. But it's going to be tight on the line for the 5. And it's Anthony Johnson who takes the 5. Up the track they swing. They want to keep the pace rolling a little bit though. Rayner not too keen on the pacemaking. He slows the pack down. And it'll be Anthony on his wheel. Followed by Jay. And O'Connell. Douglas Savage just off the back there, a bit in no man's land. The field's really stretched out here now. There's 3 distinct groups. Dorabin up the track, O'Connell up the track. No one wanting to do too much work. It's Rayner who finds himself on the front. Rayner still on the front. He wants to maintain control of this, keep it nice and steady. It's Matthew Wynn who leads them through now, followed by O'Connell. Up the track he goes. He doesn't want to do any work. No one's too keen on doing too much work. They're just going to let them roll through. A few riders sitting on the back of the peloton here. Maybe the pace is a bit too high for a move around the out. Up the track they swing. They're going to look over their shoulder. They're coming into a sprint soon. It's Hutton who's made his way forward. He's getting up the pointy end now. He's going to follow his teammate through, Ray. Hutton on the front. O'Connell following with Smith on the wheel. Up the track they go. They don't want to do too much work. They've come to the front just for the sprint. Down the track, Smith goes. O'Connell on the wheel. Got a lot of looking around here in this field. O'Connell's going to lead him through. Lead him into the sprint. And there's an attack from the outside and on the inside. They meet in the middle. They're neck and neck around the corner. They're going to lead into the sprint here. O'Connell doesn't want to give up the wheel, though. It's going to be tight on the line again here for the points. And again, it's Anthony Johnson who collects the points, but O'Connell wants to keep the pace rolling. O'Connell got a healthy margin here. No one wanting to commit to the chase. 39 laps left to travel. It's a long way to go. Looks to be Matt Smith committing to the chase now. A few riders falling in behind, but O'Connell sits up. He doesn't want to do the work out the front. With that, the peloton swings up. No point in chasing if the front isn't going. And just like that, they're all back together again. Andrew Moore up the track. Jay Dorabin follows through now. And there's a move now from Jay. He wants to keep the pace high. O'Connell's going to have to follow. Up he goes, and it's Matt Smith who follows through on the bottom. With O'Connell on the wheel, he swings up. Jay wants to keep the pace rolling, though. This is the second time round. A lot of head shaking going on in the peloton. They're not liking this early pace. We're 3 laps out from a sprint. Can Jay hang on now? He's got a healthy margin on the group. If he can hang on, this will be his first points of the night. Rayner on the front. He's not going to commit to the chase. We know that. O'Connell follows through, though. It's Jay off the front. He's got a healthy margin. Surely he'll collect the points. O'Connell on the front. No one to do much work. Jay, words of encouragement there. He's got nearly half a lap on the field. It'd be great to see him make the full catch. It's Smith who follows through on the bottom. Cameron Douglas Savage is in there as well. He's not want to do too much work. Dorabin coming into the sprint. He's got half a lap lead, but there's going to be an increase in pace from the group. It's O'Connell who's on the attack. With Douglas Savage trying to follow through. And Anthony Johnson on his wheel. It'll be Jay who'll collect the 5, but who's going to take the minors? O'Connell, Johnson and Savage. Jay hasn't lifted after this sprint. He's still committing to the move. Still a good half track on them. The front of the peloton's all swung up. They're all back together back here. No one wanting to commit to a move. Johnson and O'Connell, they're sticking to each other like glue. Don't want to let each other go. Rayner on the front again. And it's Jay who follows through. He wants to catch. There's a straight in it. He could make it there. Not much interest from the peloton, that's for sure. Can Jay make it? Surely he can postpone his catch for another 5 laps and snag some points while he's off the front. The peloton not too keen on chasing. They're just rolling through. Jay's digging deep now. He really wants to make the catch. He's been out there for a long time. He's in a lot of hurt. And he's made the catch. And look at the counter attack off the front. There's 2 riders. They've snuck away. It's Tony Redwood and Matt Smith who've snuck off the front. The group's not interested in chasing at all. O'Connell on the front, not interested in chasing. Can they stay away for the sprint? Smith sitting second wheel in the peloton there. We're yet to see him score a point. O'Connell's made a move now. He wants to get the top scoring points for this one. He's going to wind him up coming into the sprint lap. It's Smith who's on the front of the peloton, and he swings up. He doesn't want the minors. O'Connell shoots around the outside. He wants the big 5. Going to be Smith who collects the 3. "19 laps left to travel. We've got a good group of 3 off the front. If they can work together, they can stay away. Jay, after taking a lap, he's back on the front. O'Connell keeping the group motivated, rolling them through. 18 laps to travel. But there's a bit of movement from the peloton, a bit of urgency here. The class of Jay Dorabin in the attack again. Looks like these 3 off the front are going to get some friends. Up the track they swing. And it's Anthony Johnson who keeps the group moving along. He's off the front now with O'Connell chasing him down and Dorabin on the wheel. The peloton's really broken up now. A lot of tired legs, a lot of sore looking faces out there. Jay, our leading point scorer, sitting second wheel. He's on the front now. 15 laps left to go. It's Johnson on the front. He scored some early points, wanting to snag a few again. Dorabin on the front. O'Connell. It's Matt Smith who leads them through. O'Connell on the wheel. It's Raymond Smith who makes his way to the front of the peloton now. He wants to get involved in the action. Jay's on his wheel. And here's O'Connell. He's winding up for the sprint. Raymond Smith, he's on the wheel. Is he going to snag some points this time round? Dorabin's on the wheel too. He's our leading point scorer, but Johnson, he wants to wind it up as well. O'Connell's leading him through. Jay's coming with some good pace. Is he going to snag the 5? It's going to be tight on the line. Oh! Raymond Smith collecting some minor points there. He's going to sit up and go back to the peloton now. They're going to keep the pace rolling through. There's only 9 laps left to travel. Let's get it done, boys. Dorabin on the front. O'Connell following. Johnson high on the track. Could there be a late attack here? The peloton just content to do the tempo of the rest. Some words down the back straight. O'Connell keeping the pace steady. 7 laps left to go. We're at the pointy end of the race for sure. Johnson leads them through. Up the track he goes. No one wanting to commit to a turn. And it's Dorabin again on the front. O'Connell on his wheel. Everyone looking over their shoulder, not wanting to commit to any work. It's Rayner who sits high on the track at the back. Is he going to make a flyer? A last-ditch attempt to get some points here. And it's Matt Smith off the front again. O'Connell's going to follow, though. He's a danger. And there's a move off the front here. O'Connell's reacting well. It's Matthew Wynn on the front with O'Connell following. Here they come, the final sprint of the night. It's O'Connell who will lead them through. And look at the pacer, Johnson down the back straight. He's going to come flying around him. Douglas Savage just missing out on the big points at the end there. Bloody back. It's just the wrong height. Lining up now is our Masters men 2 and 3, 20-kilometre points race. It's Scotty Duncan who leads them through the front. With Scotty Smith on the wheel, Bo Hanlon, Nick Banks-Watson. Nice steady tempo here. Up the track they go. No one's going to increase the pace too hard too early. It's a long way to go. Banks-Watson has really showed his class early on in the week. Let's see if he can finish it off in the points race. Michael on the front now. He set a new state record for the individual pursuit earlier on. It's Scotty Duncan on the front with Scotty Smith on the wheel. Up the track they go. They're not going to commit to too much work. Banks-Watson on the front, leading them through. They're all content to just take turns at this stage. No one wants to get on the attack too early. A nice high tempo is being set. A few riders skipping out turns there. Scotty Smith wanting to keep him rolling through. Up goes Bo. Banks-Watson back on the front. Luke Bono on the front now. There's been a big increase in pace there from Luke. They're feeling the pinch in the pack, and it's been Banks Watson who's been caught out. He's behind the back. Michael, up he goes. Bo Hanlon finding the pace a bit too hot this time. It's Banks Watson who comes around. He's going to sit on the wheel of Scotty. It's coming up to the sprint. He wants some early points. Here he goes. He's going to sit on the hip. He's going to make an attack around the outside. It's the Caulfield rider who responds with Michael following through, but Banks Watson, he's going to collect the 5. Up the track he goes. He wants the pace to back off. It's Bono and Duncan who have been in the no man's land. And Bono goes on the attack. It's Michael who's going to follow him through. Scotty Duncan following through. Peter Spencer on the front now with Bono on the wheel. Up the track he swings. Simon Butler on the front now, and up he goes. Michael Cook, will he do a turn? Banks Watson on the front, followed by Duncan. Spencer on the wheel. The 3 on the back, they've just made contact again. Spencer's going to slip in behind, but it's Bono on the front. He's driving the pace a little. Butler, he wants to follow through with Cook on the wheel. It's Spencer who finds himself on the front again. 2 laps out from the sprint, and Bono's on the wheel. No one wants to chase. They've just slipped away here. This is going to be a healthy margin. It's Cook who responds. He wants to chase it down. He knows this is a dangerous pairing. Banks Watson seems keen to chase the gap too. He doesn't want to get too far up the road. It's Spencer and Bono trading turns off the front. They're all going to come together though. Sprint lap next time round. We've got a strong group off the front here. A few riders finding the pace a bit too hot. It's Bono who follows them through. Cook on the wheel and Spencer follows. This is going to be a mighty sprint. And there's a move down the back. It's Cook that goes early. Banks Watson's on the wheel. He's going to follow him through. He wants to snag some points. And it's Butler who snags in for a couple of minors. Up the track they go. Spencer and Bono off the front again. Banks Watson, he's going to shut that down. That's a dangerous pairing. Cook on the front, Duncan on the wheel. Up the track they go. 57 laps this time round. No one's committing to too much work. It's Smith who pulls up now. Banks Watson on the wheel. Butler on the electric green bike. He swings up. Very short turns here from the group. No one's going to commit to too much work at all. But it's Spencer who drives the pace a little. He wants to stretch him out. Bonner continues with the pace. He goes up. Banks Watson on the front. Spencer leads them through this time round. 3 laps to the sprint. Only 1 point separating our top 2. Cook isn't too keen on hanging around. He wants to stretch the pace. Bonner's going to follow the wheel and Duncan as well. It's Banks, Watson and Butler have been caught out a little bit. They've been gapped a little bit coming into the sprint next time around. Up to track they swing. It's Spencer who keeps the pace rolling. In a good position coming into the sprint. No moves yet. The pace is very high. There's a surge from mid. Here comes Cook. Bono's on the wheel, but Banks Watson's going to push through. It's Cook who's going to collect the 5. Will they keep the pace rolling? Surely he wants to stretch it out. Down Bonner goes. He wants to keep the pace rolling. Cook on the wheel with Banks Watson following. Just shake of the head there from Scotty Duncan. He doesn't want to commit to some turns. It's Cook who leads them through. "47 laps left to travel." There's some grimaces on the faces out there. Spencer on the front now. It's Banks Watson who puts a bit of pressure on the peloton. Bono's going to chase now with Scotty Duncan on the wheel. Spencer's going to keep the pace rolling with Cook on the wheel. It's Cook who leads the points with Banks Watson following and Butler on 5. Still only a point separating our top 2. Cook putting a bit of pressure on the field. Bonner's going to have to react here. It'll be sprint lap. Sprint lap next time around. Banks Watson, he's going to have to shut this gap if he wants to stay in contention with the points. Cook swings up. Bono on the front. Banks Watson, who's sitting second wheel, he's primed for some good scoring points here. But Cook's coming with some serious pace down the back straight. He's going to have to react now. It's Cook who will collect the 5. Banks Watson the 3. Bono 2. Butler 1. Spencer being the odd one out that time round. Banks Watson keeps the pace rolling. He knows that there's a bit of hurt in the peloton. Up the track he goes. His legs are feeling it too. The early pace is starting to show it now. No one wanting to commit to too much work. Banks Watson leads him through. He's going to keep the pace high. Bono up the track. Spencer follows through. He's going to keep the pace high as well. He's on the same wavelength as Nick Banks Watson. Bono rolls through. He wants to keep the pace high. Banks Watson on the wheel. 3 laps out from the sprint. Are we going to see an early attack here? Banks Watson needs to make sure he clears a few points on Cook if he wants to remain in the lead. Banks Watson who rolls it through. Spencer on the wheel. Butler following. It's sprint next time round. We've seen some good pace from Cook tonight. What's he got left in the tank? Banks Watson up the track. Spencer will lead him into the sprint. It's Cook who'll roll around the outside. Butler's on the wheel. Banks Watson, he's going to make a dive for the attack. It's Scotty Duncan this time. He's going to try and get some late points. Butler buried himself for that sprint that time. Only could get the 3. Banks Watson keeping the pace high. Scotty Duncan, he wants to follow through. He's looking down. He's really feeling it in the legs. .27 laps left to travel. It's Spencer who leads him through. Butler following. Banks Watson who will pull a turn. Bonner on the wheel. Two laps out from the sprint now. It's Cook who leads him through. He'll go up the track. Duncan on the wheel. It's Banks Watson who'll lead it through. Spencer, he's going to fight for the wheel. It's a sprint lap next time round. Spencer on the front. Bonner sitting second wheel. It's Scotty Duncan who wants to make a move around the outside. Banks Watson, he's just getting boxed in a little bit at the back there. He's got to make some points this time though. But it'll be Cook who'll lead him through around the outside. Bonner's going to suck the wheel with Scotty Duncan sitting there and Butler as well. It's Banks Watson who's the odd one out. Cook's just extending his margin ever so slightly. Banks Watson's going to have to do something special here to pull back the gap. $18 laps left to travel. Banks Watson on the front. Bonner on the wheel. Banks Watson seems to be doing a lot of work when no one else is. Cook up the track, not doing much work either. Saving himself for the sprints. Spencer finds the wheel of Cook. Cook doesn't want any of that. He swings up the track. He doesn't want anyone on the wheel. This looks like he's setting it up to take a flyer. Cook covering the move of Banks Watson. It's Bonner who leads him through. Up goes Dunker. Spencer's on the front now. $13 laps to travel. It's Banks Watson again pulling a half lap turn when no one else is. A few skip turns there leaves a gap to Bonner. These tired legs not wanting to do any turns at all. It's Banks Watson who leads them into the sprint this time. There's a move from Scotty Duncan, though, coming around the outside. He's going to be put on the hip by Cook, though. Cook's proven how strong he is in the earlier sprints. How much has he got left in the tank? It's Banks Watson who leads them into the final corner. They're going to round up the back markers coming to the finish. It's Banks Watson who collects the points this time round. Butler and Bono fighting for the mono. Bono rolling through, enticing the others to follow. Banks Watson, none of that. He's feeling sore. 9 laps to travel. He needs to make this last points stick. Banks Watson, again, on the front, pulling a turn when no one else will. Cook follows him. Butler following Cook. It's Bono who's on the front. 7 laps the distance. Spencer, not too keen on increasing the pace. He's just going to hold that tempo. Scotty Duncan having none of it. He doesn't want to pull a turn. It's Banks Watson on the front again. Cook has found himself on the back of the group. A few gaps opening up there. Some tired legs, lack of concentration. Bit of communication there. Maybe a bit of team tactics at play. Spencer on the front. Followed by Duncan. Banks Watson, then Cook. Bono and Butler. Spencer still leading them through. He's going to maintain the pace for them. They're going to come around and get 2 to go this time. There's some increase from Butler. He wants to get up the front of the group. Spencer still on the front. And there's a move from Scotty Duncan. He's going to make a last-ditch attempt. Banks Watson straight on the wheel, though. Cook follows him through. It's Cook who's going early. He's going to go a lap out for the points. Banks Watson, he's going to have to respond. He needs to get these points. Scotty Duncan, he's fallen down. Butler's going to come around him now. Banks Watson with a good turn of speed coming around the outside of Cook. He's going to collect these points. And it's Banks Watson who collects the final points of the night.
Never did you hate a storm more.
That's for sure.
Great job, mate.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Emma as no, Megan. Emma Stevens as well. She's
It's good to get the riders involved. And
absolutely better than us numpties doing it.
Adrian does a good job though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he knows all the kids so well, and
Yeah.
it's just awesome. All right,
I'll catch you later, right?
take it easy. See you training soon.
Can you get your phone in?
Yeah.
Just bring up live results, will you? What events are these? So this is the presentation of 221, 222, 223 and 224.
Masters women points race final.
221,
Yep. There you go.
Alison Hale, Petra Anderson, Alison Hale, Sharon McGuigan. Next. Just give me 1, 2 and 3.
Arch Davis,
Yep.
Anthony Mill. Oh, hold a second. You've got different age groups. Masters 6.
Arch Davis is Masters 8.
Yeah, Masters 8 was first. Then Anthony Mills.
So, jeez, can you just get mine any more complicated?
Yeah.
So 8,
Is Arch Davis.
Arch Davis.
Second is Anthony Mills. Do you want to do this down with her?
No, Anthony Mills,
And then third, I think, is John McInerney,
McInerney.
because he's down here. See, he's down here.
Okay, so this is 8.
Yep.
It's 1,
And then there's someone.
and
There's
then Anthony Mills, 2, and then who was third? John McInerney.
John McInerney, and then there's a Masters 6